Hello and welcome back to the Technically Speaking podcast. I am your host Ethan, joined as always by the dulcet tones of Shay.
Hello, everybody.
And we've got a very interesting episode. Next week we'll be back to the newsreels because nothing's releasing things, but we actually get to talk about some cool things we've been doing in the background this week. So, with a little bit of news. So, one of the things I've been doing is an AI experiment when it comes to strategy games. It's in the initial stages, but just want to talk about some of my findings. And then the Pixel Fold, after some delays, has officially been released. It's live. So, will we just get right into it?
I think we shall, yeah.
First on my agenda today is my experiments with ChatGPT in strategy games. First one I tried out was my favourite, Civ 5. I think it was pretty obvious that I would probably do that. I've talked about it before, but I wanted to see if it could formulate an effective strategy guide.
Yeah, be a ChatGPT the best commander.
Yeah, to be honest, it gives some good. It's quite generic because obviously it can't see what what's actually happening in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So it can't be like, oh, this turn do that, But it gave me a list of 8 points and then some bullet points with each one to so what I typed into it was, can you write a strategy guide for a game of Civilization 5 on an island's map played as Indonesia?
Yeah.
And it came back with the number one thing: look your capital placement, look for a coastal starting location with nearby luxuries and strategic goods, and then prioritize places near a river and mountain. Some information is wrong, so it's like to take advantage of your unique ability. That's nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? So
right, okay.
But so it gets confused. But even though that is really good guide for settling. And then it says, make use of your unique ability. It explains it. Indonesia, you get extra luxuries when you find cities on different land masses. And it says to exploit this, expand quickly, claim island, and establish cities on different land masses. And then utilize your unique ability with being on all these other islands to build a powerful navy and get control of the sea.
Right, okay. Fair enough. That's quite good.
Yeah, and then the next step was focus on naval power, invest in a strong navy, defend your coastal cities, and secure naval dominance. Build up triremes and upgrade them to caravels and later battleships. Again, caravels don't upgrade to battleships in the game, but
it's trying its best. It's trying its best.
Yeah, and then it says use these to establish trade routes to get a lot of money in, and then with all the different land masses, you're able to get quite a lot of money in because that's some of the bonuses work that way, and then get gold, science, and diplomatic influence from your trade, and establish good trade partners. Mm-hmm. And then it told me utilize my unique unit, the Chris Swordsman, to take advantage, to do amphibious assaults and conquer enemy civilizations. So, Chris Swordsmen are very strong because they get a random ability upon their first attack.
Hmm.
And then it's also said focus on religion to keep faith-based advantages. Religious beliefs suit your playstyle. Boost your naval units and provide different bonuses to land masses. Spread your religion to other civilization and exert culture and ideological influence. And then it told me to go for a cultural or diplomatic victory and invest in the culture in order to do this. And then it says maintain strategic alliances, so basically don't get anyone's bad sides and keep city states on your side so you can benefit from a lot of luxuries and getting to sell all of the extra luxuries that you get as Indonesia.
Okay, yeah, so it's quite basic, I guess. It's sort of generic would be the word, I guess.
Yeah.
It is just kind of, this is good, so you should do this. Yeah. But it gets a few things wrong. Okay, it's interesting. Like you said, though, I think the biggest flaw in that is the fact that you can't feed it live information, really.
Yeah.
It is a bit of a problem. It can't react like a human could, so it's not going to be able to change up its plans on the spot like we would be able to.
Yeah, or even I have a lot more experience in the game than Shay. If I was watching him play, or if he was, messaging me during his game and saying, this is going on, what should I do? I'd probably be able to give more specific information and tips on that. So
instead of just ChatGPT going, attack them.
Yeah.
You'd be like, send this unit here, do this with that guy. Yeah, okay.
But obviously, how did it actually perform in the game? Because I did actually test it and go with it sort of suggestions. So I played Indonesia on an islands map. I have finished the game. I did end up winning a cultural victory.
Right.
As well, that was one of the suggestions, to be fair. And I did get a lot of influence with city-states, as it said. I focused on navy, established a lot of colonies on different islands. I had a heavy focus on naval power, but I feel like I've really focused on trade routes, which you'd be friends with pretty much everyone in the game. And bear in mind, two of the strongest civilizations in the game are Korea and Babylon, both of which were in my game.
Right.
By happenstance. But then I also got quite lucky because Persia and Morocco were also in the game, and they're really good for trade, so it helped me there because I was focusing on trade, obviously.
Yeah.
So I got loads of money and I was able to fund my cities, even though I was at a disadvantage initially with science and such, and then also playing on the harder difficulty. And then I didn't get to use my Chris Swordsman advantage because there was just my closest neighbours were really good trade partners.
Yeah, so you didn't want to be killing them.
Yeah, I went to war twice in the game. I was attacked by Korea because I settled on their continent, and I defended and then got one of their cities in a trade deal to make peace. And then the second time was right at the end. I declared war on Denmark, who was the final civilization in the game, I think is the only one I haven't mentioned. Declared war on Denmark because they were my only hurdle to cultural victory, and I just took their cities until they didn't have enough culture to defend.
Fair enough.
So, do you see, to be honest,
like,
although I did follow that strategy guide and I did, to my best of my abilities, do what I could with it, I don't think I'm the proper person to be testing it out in Civ 5.
Right.
For example, how much is that success is down to me being able to react, and I'm coming up to 2,100 hours in that game.
Yeah.
How much is my just experience of playing that game and knowing what I should be doing and where I should be at, and that led to that success rather than, following that guide?
Yeah. You think it would be more accurate with someone who's less experienced than yourself?
So for example, if we did a game where the exact same scenario, you pick a civilization and you played a game, and then you did the exact same everything, exactly the same, but you got a strategy guide to see if there's any improvement. I think that could be quite interesting to look at rather than myself. It's who, has that, where it did push me down different paths. So I'm not a player that establishes trade routes quite as early as I did in this game. I'm not a player who necessarily focuses on religion and faith after getting my initial bonus from it. So, that was a kind of an eye-opener because I've seen, the power that this could be, because being able to do off all that money was great because I would say 4th place for quite a bit in that game.
Yeah, so it kind of made you play differently than what you usually would.
Yeah, but at the same time, my normal strategy would have been build up an army and invade my neighbours rather than trading with them to get enough to buy. But it's interesting to see that, in future games where I don't have that, I know that there's other options if I don't think I have the capabilities to fight them, instead of just hoping for the best and going in and relying on just grinding them down like I have had to do in the past.
That's one thing I noticed myself doing in, yourself, I play a lot of Hoi 4 and Total War, not so much Civ, but once I've learned how to play a faction in one of those games, it never changes. And I feel like that would make me change and try something different. Because whenever I play the Soviets in Hoi 4, it's like muscle memory to me. It's just do this, do that. What year is it? It's that year. Right, coming up. It's almost day by day with Hoi 4 for me, with how I play the game. And I feel like that would make me change. Instead of going Stalin every single time, it would go, hey, you're going to play Trotsky this time. I'd be like, what? I don't know what I'm doing now. Yeah. This is totally different, but it might still work. That's the thing.
It might. Like, you can imagine, how many hours do you have in Hoi 4?
Oh, like 300?
300. Like, I'm nearly at 10 times your hours in Civ 5.
Yeah.
I don't even read things anymore. I don't have to.
You just know what they do.
I know. I see the icon. I'm like, yes, I did that at that turn. I did that. I've played that game a lot.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting that using AI to give you a strategy might actually make the game less boring, I guess. Because, again, playing the same thing over and over and over again gets boring for me, I feel. So having an AI go, you're going to try it this way this time, and giving it a go, it might refresh it a good bit.
Yeah, I was more interested in, like, if say you were going to play a game with me of Civ 5, could this feasibly, like, could you be competitive with me with an AI helping you?
Yeah.
At the moment, I don't think you could be, to be honest.
No, you don't think so?
No, it would be interesting to, maybe we'll give it a try, but I think not solely reliant on it. Obviously, there's your own skill. But
I think, especially in Civ, because I don't know what any of the civilizations do, I think if I, like you did, I'm playing this country on this sort of map, and it basically said, this is what your country does, here's what I recommend you do because of that. I think that would help me in the early game, because actually, I don't know what Russia does. I don't know what Germany does in Civilization. I don't know what their special thing is. So it going, hey, this is it. Even if it's wrong or not, if it's wrong, yeah, that kind of sucks. But, you can forgive it. It going, hey, you should try this. Me, who has no idea how to play Civ at all, would go, okay, how do I do that? Okay, that's how I do that. That's fine, I'll give that a go. I think that could be interesting. It would help newbies.
Yeah, I think it would. But at the same time, it's missing quite a lot of the stuff. So, like, a big part of Civ 5, especially the early game, is social policies. Which give you a lot of early game bonuses in the game. For those of you who don't know Civ 5, this is going to sound like complete jargon, but it's basically buffs you can get early on. They don't mention anything of what you should go down, which I think is in relation to, because Indonesia is a country where you could do most of them very well, a lot of them very well.
Yeah.
And it depends on the specific situation.
Okay.
So, like, for example, there is the biggest debate is probably liberty versus tradition. Tradition is built towards small empires that are going to have a lot of people living in them. So think of, like, I know it's not a small empire, it would be, but like the ancient China, basically, is, I know it's not small, but, or like Japan probably would be a good example of that. There's quite, a lot
of people in a reasonably small area.
Yeah. And then you could have, liberty, which is a lot of cities, but very sparsely populated. So think of, like, Mongolia.
Yeah.
Like the Mongolian Empire at its height. So I think, but then again, like, I didn't ask any follow-up questions because I don't really need to, as, like, bad as that sounds. But, you could be like, oh, and should I do tradition, liberty, honor, pie,
Yeah, because of your experience in the game, once it's set you on a path, you're able to just keep following that path. Yeah. Whereas a new player like myself would have to ask it questions. Which path do I go down? Do I take liberty or do I take tradition? And it would tell me that.
Well, you have played Civ in the past to
I have, I've played a couple of games.
Degrees of success.
Yes,
Maybe.
very much so.
Maybe it could be a thing to see how competitive you could be with AI. Maybe get like a couple of people, of varying, because we in our like group we have, the people who have never touched it before, people who are like me, have played it loads, and then we have people who have, kind of played it a good bit and have good experience in it, but maybe not the just click through everything because they know you know what it is experience.
Yeah.
And then we have like people who like you who are kind of what you're doing, but you maybe just don't know the nuances of each civilization and what to do in that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it could be interesting to see, like, have the top two players not use any help at all, just do it themselves, and then have, say, the bottom two players using that to see if that kind of helps close the gap.
Yeah, so you basically give them unlimited questions.
Yeah.
To be able to ask ChatGPT, what do I do here? Please help.
Yeah. Ethan is attacking me. Please.
It just says that you may as well roll over.
Show him your belly.
You're done. You're done, kid.
Sell all your buildings. Hinder him in the long run. I think that's really interesting because it's the only because you can't exactly like ask an AI, what should I do in COD or what should I do in, it's the only kind of strategy games that work like that. I would love to try it in Hoi 4 as well, Endless Legends, because I love strategy games, so I have a lot to try it on. Civ 6, it might be a bit better in Civ 6 because I think there's a lot more recent stuff on the internet about Civ 6. But I'm actually going to ask a question live now, so just do like the follow-up question to see if it does. So I'm going to ask it, what social policy trees should I go down to see if it picked the same one as me?
Yeah, see what it says.
So before it pops up, I picked tradition, exploration, and rationalism, and then went into freedom. And then at the end, I went into patronage. I'd just seen it. Oh, this is actually quite interesting. Oh, it's also at the end of the first one, it said, remember, guides provide a general strategy and it's important to adapt your gameplay based on specific circumstances in the game. Good luck and enjoy your journey as Indonesia and Civilization 5.
Oh, that's nice. At least it is saying, we're not perfect. You've got to think for yourself.
But it's giving me, so it said, I have to go down the exploration tree. A natural choice for an island-focused civilization, provides specific bonuses to naval units. Finisher ability grants tourism, great for getting the cultural victory. And then it said commerce tree, which I didn't go down. It's all about trade and naval power, offers bonus gold. Offers additional production, patronage to get for the diplomatic victory that it suggested, to get city-states on side, aesthetics for the cultural victory, rationalism is a strong choice for any civilization, aiming for science victory, offers bonuses to science, technology, costs, and yield. The finisher grants a specific boost to science in universities, public schools. And then it says optional honor. Honor can be a viable choice if you're and if you anticipate conflicts or plan for a domination victory. It provides a bonus military unit, production, and strength. The finisher ability grants a great general in addition to combat bonuses. So it didn't go. I think it's quite interesting because in Civ 5, the strongest social policies tree by far is tradition.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I went down. And it doesn't mention tradition, and quite often the weakest social policy tree is honor or piety.
Right.
And it's suggesting honor, which is kind of unique, but it does say it's optional. But all of the suggested ones aren't, like your initial one you can pick from 3. You can pick tradition, which is all about a small, strong civilization, and liberty, a wide, expansive civilization, or honor, a very militaristic civilization bent on conquest.
Yeah, and it's going for honor.
It's going for honor's optional. It's the only one that's mentioned. It says optional if you anticipate conflict, but I think it's interesting. It doesn't say, like your early social policy tree should be this.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially because there's so much out there that just raves on about how tradition is so good, and all. Even it's so good that even sometimes in multiplayer games people ban tradition just to see how interested the game can be.
Yeah.
Like tradition into rationalism. That if anyone's playing Civ 5, number one tip: tradition into rationalism.
I'll keep that in mind.
Wins every time. Yeah, interesting. What?
Yeah, so it's definitely gone down a different route, but yeah. Okay.
Should I ask it another question? Would you like me to ask it another question? Like you, as getting that information, what would you then ask it? As a player who doesn't really know too much what they would be focusing on or anything like that.
It's told me go down honor. Well, I would go down honor if I didn't know that tradition was the best. I go down honor. I probably ask it what a great general does. As a new player, I probably wouldn't know what a great general does.
What does?
Since it does say that it gives you a great general.
General 2. So, and it's going to come back. A great general for powerful unit in civilization that provides strategic bonuses. Oh. So it's when stationed nearby friendly units, it provides a combat bonus to those units. Yes. Can be assumed to create an army and combines 2 military units into a single powerful unit. That is not true. A great general can be constructed citadel on the map, which has a defensive structure. That is true. Generals can lead military campaigns, control large units of soldiers effectively. Kind of true, but not really. Great war general and modern era generals. As can progress, generals evolve into great war general, into modern era generals. Increased no, that's also not true. So it gives you, out of the 5 points, it gives you 3 of them are not true.
Right, okay, that's not good.
Yes,
that's not ideal.
I think it's getting mixed up in different kinds of civilization games. So I think there's a bit of 4 and some of Civ 6 in there as well.
Yeah, okay.
But like it's still like it does give you the right information, it just also gives you
yeah. Some of it's right. The problem is some of it's wrong.
Yeah, and some of it is kind of right but kind of not. Like they are leaders of armies, but they just give you a combat bonus.
Yeah.
They don't specifically do anything to make controlling an army easier. Would you want to try that experiment to see how far we can push the limits of AI?
We could surely give it a go.
I think that would be quite fun.
Yeah, why not? We could give that a go, no problem. So next up we do have a little piece of news. The Pixel Fold is officially released for pre-order. It's not out yet, but you can pre-order yours today.
Yeah, some people already have them, so like reviewers and people like that already have theirs, and it's not good so far.
No, it's not looking great. I was looking up the Pixel Fold just to see if there was anything on it, and yeah, there's a couple of stories. Apparently some guy claimed that his was dead after 4 days. Don't know how true that is. That could just be complete slander, but you never know with the internet.
Did he forget to charge it?
Might have done. Very well could have done. It's a simple mistake to make, especially whenever it comes up on the screen that there's no battery left.
he's came straight from a Nokia that lasted 4 weeks.
He's so used to a Nokia. Yeah, there's a couple of YouTubers on YouTube who have the titles don't fill me with confidence. Let's put it that way.
I think the issue is even it does have some flaws, and flaws that you might be able to forgive in a phone, but when you're paying $1,800 for a phone,
yeah, you're gonna expect a lot out of a phone for that price.
So like paying, like the 7A, paying £450 for it, getting slow charging speeds and not as efficient battery life as the pros, you're paying half the price.
Yeah, exactly. You know that you're paying less money, so you're not going to get as good as a product.
But here,
that's how the world works.
You're paying more money, and you're getting a worse product with a gimmick by the sounds of things.
Yeah, it's obviously we don't have it in our hands, so we can't tell you. You might.
I will have it soon, probably.
There we go. We might get a catch up on this then. We don't have it right now, so we can't tell you for certain if it's good or not. But from the verdict on YouTube and news and stuff, it's not great by the sounds of it. Which kind of sucks. It's this good? This is Google's first folding phone, isn't it? So it's not a good start.
It was always going to have teething issues. Everything does, but I'm just really disappointed. I want a good folding phone. Because I'm someone, I would buy it, but they all have such problems.
Yeah.
Like, the Samsungs are famous for the hinge not being great. They are apparently fixing it for the not the 7. The 5, the Fold 5, the hinges are getting better. Oppo is apparently the be-all and end-all of construction.
The Floppo. Give me a Floppo.
No, the Enfold, not quite the Floppo, but the Enfold.
I want the Floppo.
But they're hard to get hold of in the UK at the moment due to the ongoing lawsuit. And the actual folding one isn't available at all in the UK market.
Oh, right.
The Google Pixel, I had such hope.
Yeah. Well.
Such hope.
Maybe next time.
Yeah.
You give it a try, Google. Maybe next time, buddy.
But in saying that, Samsung's first go at it was horrible.
Yeah, that's the thing. It is still their first try at this, so it's not going to be perfect.
Yeah, the Samsung Fold 2 was a major upgrade.
Yeah.
But I think, to be honest, rollable phones will probably be better than foldable. That seems to be the consensus at the moment. I have a lot of hope, especially with the folding LED screens now. Have you seen those?
I don't think I might have done, actually. No, I might have done.
It was a big thing, way back before we even started this podcast, or I think even before I had my tech Instagram, but foldable LCDs, monitors.
Oh no, I have seen those. Yes, I have seen those.
Yeah, so we could have a bit of hope if some of that technology could be implemented into them screens, but I'm just so let down. I would love a foldable.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're still going to be waiting a while.
Maybe when Apple does it, that'll...
Exactly, yeah. Apple might blow it out of the water.
Yeah, I think it's good now that a lot of companies are doing it, because Samsung has no harm to Samsung, but they have released the same phone 3 years in a row. With the Fold 2, the Fold 3, the Fold... Well, the Fold 3 had the under-screen camera.
Right, okay. So they made some sort of variation.
The Fold 4 and Fold 3, very little difference, except for I think the stylus can now be used. But I want to see some big innovations now.
Yeah.
Not on the flipping ones. The flip, no.
You want a fold?
I want a fold. I want a productivity monster.
Fair enough, yeah.
I want to be able to open large spreadsheets.
Oh, open up Google Docs and be like, oh yeah, that's the stuff.
Admire it. No, I can't wait to get my hands on it. When I do, I will have some more to say.
Absolutely, yeah.
Stay tuned for that. And finally, for the third week in a row, nothing. Dun dun dun.
Nothing again.
They have raised £100 million, or was it dollars? I'll just double check that. It was 100 million something. $100 million they raised, and they did an interview with Forbes saying, and Forbes has titled it "Smartphone Sell Nothing Raises 100 million to build the Apple of Android."
Right. Okay. That's a statement.
Which I think is really insulting to Nothing.
Yeah. They're their own thing.
It's so unique.
Yeah, they're not trying to make an Apple ripoff. They are very much unique.
Yeah. Even though, like, it does kind of look like an iPhone, but that's because it's the most efficient way to design a phone.
Yeah, it's not because they wanted it to look like an iPhone. It's because that is the best way to build a phone.
Yeah, and they do say that Apple is the be all and end all. Like, that was in their initial, that Android's winning, but nothing's going to win it back for Android now because Apple has been dominating.
Yeah.
But I think it's just insulting.
Yeah, I get. No, I'm absolutely with you there. That is the Apple of Android. No, they're building the nothing phone.
Yeah.
It's their phone. It's not an Apple. It's nothing to do with Apple. It's because it looks kind of like one. Doesn't mean it is one.
Yeah. I don't know. I like they are in a way making, like an Apple style device where it's more focused on aesthetics, but it's not a rip-off. I would say it's like inspired. What is it they say? No.
Yeah, you're inspired by the thing you like.
Yeah, like it's doing some really cool things, like the very minimalist interior on it with 3 preloaded apps or something stupid like that. And you said, I can't even remember from last week what my count was in that Samsung. It was like 35, 36 or something like that.
Could you imagine being a Samsung user or buying a nothing phone next? God, it's so clean. What is going on?
It'd be like, when they said nothing, they really
they weren't joking.
And Apple actually comes with a hell of a lot of pre-downloaded apps.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm excited. The next week's, maybe 2 weeks podcast, we will have the announcement of the Nothing phone. Do you want the phone 2?
The Nothing Phone 2.
Yes, so I'm very excited for that. I think it'll be a force to be reckoned with in the market. I think they've now got their in. So they can actually start, like they're kind of finding their people. So they can now cater to it. And I think I'm very much one of their people.
I couldn't tell.
I really enjoy it. But no, I'm very excited to see because from the sounds of things, it's going to, spec-wise, it's going to be quite similar to the S22, but for £450.
Yeah.
You couldn't be bad to that.
Not at all, no, not at all.
And they're, you get the Nothing ecosystem which they're building up. Nothing looks like a Nothing phone. From the back. Our Nothing products, you get their cool earphones. I think they're developing more things. And
what are their earbuds called? The ear sticks or something?
Ear sticks, yeah.
Yeah, I got an advert for those a few days ago and was like, that's interesting.
Still need to get John in and see what he thinks of them.
Oh, yes, so we do, yeah.
But I'm very excited. I can't wait to report on Nothing. So that is us until next time. Unfortunately, a lot of it was dominated by my Civ 5 game. yeah, quite a lot of it, yep. For anyone who doesn't play strategy games, is going to be like, what is this man talking about? It's better than me talking about nothing. But I just love that. I want to try it out more. And we will.
We want to experiment, people.
Exactly. Where else do you get quality content like this? Oh, I know where you can get quality content like this. On Shay's YouTube channel. Maybe we'll record it and upload it to your...
We could. We could absolutely do that. We could record a Civ 5 game and
get some gameplay in there.
Put it on my channel. Yeah, we can absolutely do that.
The revival.
So go check out my channel.
Where it might be there. Well, hopefully it will. I would be down for that. But for the meantime, that is this week's podcast. Finito, as Jay says, you can find him on his YouTube channel down below. You can find me on Instagram primarily, and also on this YouTube channel. Any more to add, Shay? Have I missed anything?
I don't think so.
Oh yes, like and subscribe. I missed that. You got to
Oh
ask
yes,
for that.
commenting and all that jazz.
Yeah, good for the algorithm.
And subscribe to our Patreon that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Join the Discord. I don't know. I have to say YouTuber things.
See you.
Bye bye.